Hi, this is Dr. Darwin, the new dentist coach, with another episode of Ask Dr. Darwin on the New Dentist Coach podcast show. That's a long title, but it is what it is. Hey, this is a show where you ask questions and we get the answers to you. Whether you're a pre-dental student, current dental student, a resident, or a dentist that's been practicing 5 to 8 years, you send those questions. Probably can't see them, but they're over here to the left here, newdentistcoach@gmail.com. Send those questions to me and we get the answers to you. Today we're going to be continuing on our series, Surviving Dental School. Surviving Dental School. We have one of my mentees who's just finished up his first year of dental school, student Dr. Kwame. Welcome to the show, man.
Thank you a lot. Really appreciate it. I hope that whatever I'm here to offer, or whatever it is that I can, give to the community out there, hoping to get into dental school, will be beneficial to them.
Most definitely, man. I know around this time last year we met and talked and had some strategies and some tips that you implemented. And then look at you, 366 days later, look at you.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, you definitely encouraged me to stay on top of everything, make the connections that I needed to make as far as, just kind of getting better guidance of what it is that I need to do to be a stronger candidate. As far as my GPA and my DAT, that was kind of set in stone. There's nothing you could really do about that, right? But I had pretty decent scores. But for the most part, it was really about reaching out to those schools and letting them know that this is what I really want. Ultimately, their numbers are all over the place. There has to be something that sets you apart.
That's right. So tell everybody about yourself.
So I'm a Ghanaian American, but I was born and raised here. I do go to Ghana quite often. My dream, honestly, in dentistry is to just reform the whole oral health care system that exists down there. Coming up, I grew up in Maplewood, New Jersey. Shout out to Maplewood. I later moved out here to DC for dental school. I went to Rutgers for undergrad. I did my master's at New Jersey Medical School in biomedical sciences. So it's been a pretty circuitous path to get to where I am now, but it's definitely very rewarding nonetheless. Definitely blessed to be here.
Awesome. So you did a master's after undergrad, correct?
Yeah. So my science GPA wasn't as strong as I wanted it to be. And I was just really ignorant to the process of applying to dental school. So I believe that's where I fell short. I don't know if I had to do a master's at the time that I did, but because I didn't have enough information, I just shot for it. It was something that somebody told me was my best option. Don't get me wrong, $60,000 more in debt than I wanted to be, but it definitely gave me a leg up on a strong science base. I have a strong science base, so when I actually entered into dental school, I had a little bit of an easier time than some of my other colleagues that came straight from undergrad.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about your application process, some of the things that you remember as far as how you came up with your list, number of schools, your interviews. So just kind of share that part of it that kind of helped you get to where you are right now.
Okay. So, at first I was really just looking at which schools had kind of at first, to be honest, I was really looking at which schools. I was shooting myself short because I was like, I don't really have the grades. I don't really have the requirements. So I was like, what are the schools that usually accept a lot of people? So I was looking at the schools that had the highest people accepted, which was like NYU, Tufts, schools like that. They had high numbers of acceptance as far as their class size. Smaller class sizes like, 70 students, 80 students didn't seem like much of an attractive, place to go because of my grades and science GPA. But, I kind of threw that to the side and went to look for where I wanted to be. Right. And, I concentrated on that. And instead of, saying I'm not good enough for this school or for that school, I put myself in the mindset of which school is going to be blessed enough to train me as a dentist, right? And so once I switched my mindset into that, I began to sell myself. I mean, I looked at areas such as Maryland, DC. So I looked at UMD, I looked at Howard, I looked at Meharry, I looked at Tufts, I looked at NYU, I looked at Rutgers. And I said, whichever school chooses me might be one of the most blessed schools because they're going to have an amazing dentist to train. And, I kind of narrowed it down in that respect because, applying is expensive as well. You never want to be put in the situation where you've applied to all these schools and you haven't even really gotten your application together well and you end up wasting a lot of money. So I was very strategic about, which schools that I wanted to apply to. And so during the application process, I was very communicative with the administration office, the admissions office and the administration office. I took a couple trips down to the universities that I wanted to attend, besides when they wanted me to for interviews. And when they were actually reaching out to us, they said, don't worry, we'll reach out to you guys and we'll let you know, how your application is going. I was like, no, that's not going to work for me. It's not going to work for me because I don't want to wait up until a point just for you to tell me no. So, I took the initiative to attend these schools, to constantly be in their ears. And really, a lot of people may feel as if they're being annoying, but at the end of the day, they're really reaching for something that they want. And the administration is going to notice that, that doesn't go unnoticed. They've been in this for way longer than we have. And they've seen students in and out. They've interviewed so many different students. So you have to do something that will show them that this is something that you really want, regardless of the fact that you may be a good student or a moderate student or not the best.
That's right. That's right. And I remember talking to you and helping you with your proactiveness, kind of putting some icing on the cake there, which resulted in some good things for you. So that's good. So got into dental school.
Yeah.
First day, first month, first year. What you said? Yeah. What? So what was the hardest part for you? What was the hardest part for you during this first year? The most challenging things.
Probably, waking up and telling myself I'm about to do this again. I'm about to do this again. We had classes from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday with an hour lunch in between. And that, to me, I've never been to school for work. You understand what I'm saying? People talk about 9 to 5s. I'm doing an 8 to 5 for free. Actually, not for free. I'm paying you.
Right.
I'm paying you to live that life. So I think the time that I spent actually in school was one of the most difficult parts. I'm used to master's courses where, I didn't necessarily need to be in class, or I didn't necessarily have to do certain things in order for me to prepare for an exam. Right. This is a doctorate program where the level of material I haven't really been exposed to, because the depth is there, and then it's also very extensive. So and then on top of that, the exams are maybe 75, 80 questions, some of them 100 questions, and you're reading 13, 15 chapters worth of material. So how do you prepare for an exam when you have so much material to go over? And then you have an exam every single Monday, guaranteed. At least one. Might have two if you're lucky.
Right.
But, yeah, I think preparing for those exams, understanding how to study now that I'm in a doctoral program, and then time managing myself to wake up the times that I had to be there, because sometimes we had 8 a.m. gross anatomy lab at 8 a.m. and you have to be in lab. You can't, you need to be able to understand those different body parts, be able to see them so many different times that when it comes down to the lab test and you have to figure out what this nerve is, or what this artery is, or what this particular ligament is, you have to have been able to have seen it so many times, because you have only a minute to make sure that you know that to move on to the next body part.
Right.
So I think it's different study strategies. So you have to have
a whole new world. It's a whole new world.
And no all-nighters. Like, I used to pull all-nighters in undergrad. That doesn't work here. You're just going to shut down. You need sleep. You need sleep.
Well, that kind of transitions me into what knowing what you know now after this first year. If you had to do it all over again, what things would you do different?
I would sleep more. I worked hard, not smart. I think I was working so hard, which translated into some of the results that I wanted. But at the end of the day, if I would have just rested my mind and approached these courses in a different manner, I think I could have done much better and still done as well as I wanted to, and still maintain my sleep. I mean, health is the most important thing. My mom's been telling me that for years, but it didn't make sense until, you're ready to put your health at risk just for your grades or just for your career. That's because the investment that you're putting into this school makes you feel as if you have to go all out, which is true. But going all out also means taking care of yourself. And that's something that, is a very difficult. I mean, now I don't sleep. Like, I have to sleep by 1, latest by 1. I remember my second exam, it was a histology exam. I pulled an all-nighter. And I was like, you know what? I need to get all this information in my mind. I need to be able to review these lectures X amount of times. I need to be able to, know all the bolded words, all the bolded terms. I mean, it was my first time taking histology. So I really was beating myself up about it. And so I went into the test and I failed. It was my second test. The first test was a biochemistry exam, which I did fairly well because I had taken biochem before on the graduate level. And, I wasn't afraid for that exam. I slept real nice, had a smooth 8-hour rest, woke up refreshed and clear-headed and took the exam and did very well, versus the histology exam, which I felt that, I probably worked harder for. Got less sleep, brain wasn't as clear. Sorry, it wasn't as clear, and I failed the exam.
Wow. So what advice would you give those D1s that are now incoming D1s that are getting ready to start, or even those pre-dental students that are applying to dental school this year? Give us a couple of things of advice that you would give both those two groups.
So one is create a schedule and follow it. Create a schedule that is feasible and follow it. You need to dedicate a certain amount of time to studying, a certain amount of time to leisure, a certain amount of time to sleep. You really need to plan out your entire day, every day. Even your weekends, you need to utilize your weekends. That's number one. I think a lot of my classmates and even myself kind of went in like, I'll study here and study there and make sure I sleep, get in some sleep. No, you need to create a schedule, tell yourself how much you want to get completed, complete it, set up goals and crush them continuously. That's what you have to do. You can't just go into this thinking you know what to do. And, I would definitely advise seeking out help from upperclassmen. I think that's extremely helpful. But at the same time, don't take their word as Bible. Upperclassmen will help you to the best of their ability, and that may not work for you. So, definitely listen to what it is that they have to say, but don't take their words as Bible. Read before class. Definitely read before class. You need to read before class. At least review the lecture the night before, something before you get into that room. Don't let it be the first time you're looking at that material.
Oh my God, yes.
You're going to drown. You're going to drown. The thing is, so a semester is about 15 weeks, give or take. So if you fall behind, you're pushing yourself back for the entire semester. You're going to play catch up the whole semester. You don't want to do that. You always want to put yourself ahead or just be on top of it,
Right.
Good. Figure out what your study method is. If you study better alone, study alone, and then make sure you get yourself in a group maybe 2-3 days before the exam to really go over material and see if they catch things that you may not know. I mean, I'm the type of person who needs to study by themselves, and then I teach the material to others to make sure that I have the material solidified in my head. So everybody's different in that respect.
That's right. That's good, man. Wow, some great advice, some great do-overs, and great experience this first year. And I remember we had this conversation. We talked, and let me know you remember. But I said, everybody starts the first day with a 4.0.
Exactly. Yeah, that's really true.
So even if you're not thinking about specializing, your job is to keep that 4.0 by any means necessary.
That's true. I mean, you literally have to fight for it.
You have to fight for it, and I know you came very close. If not, I think you kept most parts of the 4.0.
I did. I won't disclose any particular numbers, but I did fairly well my first semester. I did all right. I did a lot better my second semester. Just because I learned how to study, I learned how to study really well. I didn't get a 4.0 either of those semesters. The thing is to get a 4.0 in dental school it's difficult. It's not impossible, but it's definitely difficult. I would take myself as someone who, it's a trial and error kind of guy. I need to experience things a couple times before I get a hang of it. And I think I've gotten a hang of it now. I don't know as far as my abilities will take me to get a 4.0 for these next few years, but that's not going to stop me from trying every single semester.
That's right. And I think you remember me telling you, you have a desire and a target to become a pediatric dentist. At least you did last year. I share with you, that process starts D1 year as well. The weight of the 20 or 24 hours that you're taking each semester as a first year, as a D1 student, dental student, some of those classes are weighted a little bit heavier than others, 6 credits, 8 credits, 10. And what you do the first year in those classes really sets the foundation for your GPA and other things that you're using to develop your candidacy for a specialty program or other types of residencies. So another reason why it's important to get sleep, have a schedule, know about your study habits, get into a groove of things. All of that is momentum and foundation that's going to help you through the next 3 years. So good information, man. What are you looking forward to this upcoming year?
I'm looking forward to diving into more dental work. I mean, at Howard, we didn't really start drilling till this summer in our operative class, which just took me to a whole nother level of interest. I mean, I'm really starting to see, my hand skills, what I need to improve on, what I can perfect. And I mean, I used to be a perfectionist in the sense of I would always want things to be perfect. I mean, I've matured into knowing that nothing is perfect and that I should always strive for perfection. So I'm just ready to really perfect my craft. I mean, I'm getting into learning about other specialties. I mean, I've set my eyes and my heart on pediatrics, but that's not going to close me off to learning about and understanding and taking interest in other specialties, because ultimately dentistry is all encompassing. Regardless of what it is that you decide to specialize in, you should be generally knowledgeable about everything. That's take an interest and pride in your career and in your work. So, I mean, the professors are really, really good. We have some really, the staff is amazing. And honestly, even more than the staff, not to downplay them at all, but the students, I mean, my classmates are really carrying me through as I'm also carrying them. It's really a group effort in that respect. And I mean, where I am now in life, I've never really had that level of support, like student body support. And I think it's pivotal for you doing well. It's imperative.
That's right.
Moving forward, I'm really excited to, work in other offices as well. Right now I'm interning here in DC at Adventure Dental. It has a lot of the population has a lot of pediatric patients as well, which is giving me better insight into if this is something that I really want, dealing with kids, and then even more so dealing with their parents, So, Yeah, so
so what's the best way for people to contact you if they have questions or just want to ask you things about your experience or advice or just more advice? What's the best way to contact you?
So, I mean, you can contact me through my email or even on social media on Instagram. So, on my email is my first name, Kwame, Kwame, Achampong, Achampong @gmail.com. And then also my Instagram handle, which is and then it's my last name, Achampong, and then Strong, Strong. So that's my handle on Instagram. Either of those ways are perfect ways to reach out to me. You can direct message me or email me. I'm very open to that. Also, for those that are, well, either or is fine. Honestly.
Sounds good. And you were going to give me an update and tell the others about a project that you've been working on.
So in my undergraduate years, I actually started a nonprofit organization that's now a 501c3. It's called Project Dental All. So I established it for not just pre-dental students, but just students in undergrad to get involved in their surrounding communities and also abroad to be able to, teach and educate children about oral health and oral health awareness, the implications of poor oral health and what those things can lead to. And then on top of that, being able to connect the dental community to the community that surrounds it. We travel abroad to foreign countries and work with dentists in foreign countries to be able to address the oral health issues that exist in the country, as far as educating children, also getting dentists to get work done on the children that need it, and providing toothbrushes, toothpaste, and floss to kids that don't have it. We've been to a bunch of different places. We've been to Ghana, we've been to Nigeria, Kenya, Tanzania, Guatemala, Honduras, India, China. We've gone to a lot of urban areas also here in the US. We have a website for anyone that would want to look at more information. It's at www.projectdental.org. Yeah, .org.
Projectdental.org.
Yep.
Perfect, man. I mean, that nonprofit, that sounds great, man. Remind me. I need to get you connected with a recent grad who went to he went to Tufts.
Okay.
He did the joint DDS MPH program at Tufts. Then he did public health residency. Then on the back end, after he finished his public health residency at BU, they asked him to do a pediatric dentistry residency, which he just finished in June.
Okay.
He is in the DC area. You guys got to connect because you're a nonprofit and your concerns about oral health for children, but also for adults, and other implications are your missions and your targets are right in the same alignment. And
that would be dope.
Yeah, Dr. Nicholas Gordon, Nicholas Gordon, and that's one of the byproducts of us connecting and doing these series is also to help us network with other people that have similar missions, but also have similar purposes and goals. So Dr. Nicholas Gordon, I'm going to give you his information, but he's from the DC area, just moved back after finishing his pediatric dentistry residency, and that's going to be a good point of contact for you, not only for PEDO, but also for your other public health projects that you've been working on, man. How's that sound?
Sounds really good, actually. I think something that you've taught me and something that I've just learned going through undergrad, that networking, your network is your net worth. I mean, it's very important to network with others and just to not just to obviously connect and to build your finances, but also just for yourself, to build your career, to build your brand, to expose yourself to things that you may otherwise not have been exposed to. I mean, you might discover something you love just by connecting with somebody that maybe you wouldn't have if you didn't understand.
There you go, man. There you go. Hey, student Dr. Kwame, thanks so much for your time, man. I know you're on a busy schedule.
Oh, yeah, not at all. No worries.
I appreciate you coming on the show, and thank you for sharing all that good advice. some
Yeah.
do-overs, and it's been very helpful, man. Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. Thank you so much for having me. And
Hey. No problem, man. Hey, you guys out there, if you have problems or issues or questions that you want us to answer, shoot me an email right over here at newdentistcoach@gmail.com, newdentistcoach@gmail.com, and we'll set you up, get you on the show, or you can just send them to me, and we'll create a show based on your question. Again, Doc, thanks so much. We're going to be in contact. I'll see you in D.C. real soon.
Of course.
All right? Thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon.
All right.
All right. Bye.
All right. Take care.